a chair and join me today. Out in my workshop, I'm tinkering away. Wand above staring down on me. Wonder what my next project will be. Working on my Johnson, my Mercury Mark 10. Firing up my StarCraft to fish again. Grab your friends and your dog is too, to watch Tim's Workshop on my YouTube. Hey, welcome to Tim's Workshop. Moving on with the TD20 Johnson 1947 outboard motor. Going to be working on the Magneto ignition plate today, and we're going to restore everything on it and get ready for reinstalling on the outboard motor here. So you like the video, please subscribe, leave comments, hit the notification bell. If you like, give me a like. And if you're new here, it doesn't cost you a dime, all right? So sign up, join the fun. So let's move on with this thing. Put this Magneto plate together. First off, let's get you up here close so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. First off, we got to put this back down and get it installed here the way it's supposed to be. There we go, just like that. And these tabs need to be bent over. So we use a small screwdriver for that. This is where the spark plug cable comes through here, so the wide opening is, so it's positioned right to get the new spark plug wire. Okay, it wouldn't fit on this side. This one over here, I didn't take it apart, and you can see it's positioned that way too. So there's room for the new spark plug wire to be soldered on. So we'll take these tabs, bend them back over. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Anyway, I got those on. So that's back together. So now we need to start putting all this back together here. This is the oiler right here. So we'll put a little drop of oil on it. Get this spun back around the way it's supposed to be. And it's slotted, so once this is on there, it goes against the cam. This piece here just fits in this ring right here, and this ring will tighten up with a screw right here. And you tighten it up until you don't want it too tight. You want it tight enough that you can still churn this. This is the points, this is the condenser. So they go right here. Start putting the points and the condenser back on. Slide these all the way back. This goes over here onto this post, the condenser. So let's put the other one on so it's ready to go. Okay, we got these on. I could still get a little piece of sandpaper if I needed to for the points. Now let's put these coils back on. That's why it's a good thing to put all these screws back in, so they're right there with the washers ready to go. This wire here is going to connect to here. We're going to take this nut, I'm going to put this on there like that. That way we have room to get it on there and get it tight. There we go. So that's tight. Now the other two wires are easy to get to, because these wires are just held on by solder, you know, so we don't want to get too crazy with them, break them. And we'll get these down so they're down but not tight. We got to be able to adjust this. So that's ready to go. Let's put that down a little bit more. Okay, this coil wire goes on to this one. That goes down on that for one. And this one goes over here like this and gets screwed on to here. And this is the same one that the condenser's on. Just like that. Pretty simple, actually. Okay, just like that. And then this one attaches to the plate, just like that. Alrighty, so that's on there. Now this one. Just like that. This orange wire goes to this one. Alright, get that one down. That's loose. That's loose. Okay. So these guys are all loose, ready to go. Okay. Ready to put some wiring on here. I cut the end off, about this much of it, so I'm just going to make sure when I cut the new wire here, it's the same length as this, and just add on maybe another 1 inch to it. Compensate for what I cut off, same way on the other one. I took this off, okay, it's a little cap that goes on there, and then this screw is pretty long. It looks like it's brass or whatever it is, and it centers this, so when you screw it in, it goes right down the center of the wire, making contact with the spark plug wire that's inside, the copper core wire. So I was able to get it off using my little torque wrench. It has all these nice little different size Phillips tips and 6-point slotted screws, you name it. It's got all that little stuff in it, so it's got that off. So we'll make 2 new cables. We're going to do that. So take this one off. Make sure that one's saved, because we want to reuse this stuff. I like this design here. I'd rather have that than the spark plug boots. There's some of the old stuff I really like, and there's some of the newer stuff I really like compared to the old stuff. Like this carburetor for this thing, I don't really care for it that much. But it is all metal except for the cork. I didn't see really any plastic on it. So we'll make our 2 new wires. And once we make this one, like I say, it has the little metal plate on here that says up. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit more so you can read it, but that goes on this wire. So I think this wire here is shorter than this wire. So let's see. Of course, remember I cut off some of it. Yeah, so the wire that's not on the top, the wire that's on the bottom, it's longer. So that's why I save your wires if you can. Makes it easier to make the new wires. We're going to cut this to length, We'll give ourselves 1 inch extra, about that much, because we're going to cut this back to expose the core so we can solder it. Okay. Okay, got that cut. Now we'll put the cap on and put the screw in. And go straight into this cable. There we go. Just kind of sand that off a little bit. Put some dielectric grease on that when I put the new spark plugs on. Now we're on this end. Okay, so this end here, let's put this off to the side for now. For this here, we want to cut down enough to get the wire up to solder it. So let's take about this much off. There we go. Get this twisted up. So let's get this out of the way. Get this through here. And it comes underneath this. Okay. Then it goes up through here. Just like that. Now we have to put something in between here. This rubber maybe? Let's see. Well, that looks pretty good. I don't know if you could see that, but it's set up to drop the old solder on there. Keep the rubber piece that I cut off. Was perfect for this. Well, might as well heat up the solder gun. Okay, so I got the solder on. Here's my solder. Got it on there. Now we'll test it. Make sure it works. It doesn't matter which one you use, but I usually use the red one and the black one for the ground part of it. But anyway, so we're watching the needle over here. It's going to go up to 7 ohms. That's what it's going to do. And actually, it's not 7 ohms. It's 1, 2, 3 or 4 ohms. I was looking at it backwards. This is 7 ohms up here. This is 2 here, and this is 5 here. So 4, let's see, 3, 4, 5. So somewhere in that range there. 3 ohms, a little over 3 ohms. I know I said earlier 7. It's not 7. I was reading it wrong. So anyway, we got that one on. I put this on there just to pull on a little bit, and it's on there good. They say be careful, because if you keep the iron on there too long, you'll burn up that little wire on the inside, so you don't want to do that. This one over here is not going to be that issue, because this wire here that I bonded on to the little wire that's on the inside, this part of the wire is 3 strands of spark plug wire, so that should be pretty sturdy there. So let's turn it over, because we're going to run this next wire in through this hole here. Might as well go ahead and put this one on there right now, so we'll do that. So we're going to put this through here, put this clamp over the top of this wire, tighten this down. Got some magnetic stuff going on here. There we go. So we'll screw that down. Then we'll come through here, and we'll just temporarily kind of put this one over the top here. Okay, so the next wire will be the short one. So let's unwind some of this wire here for our next cut. There we go. So same thing here, we're going to add on some wire to it. There we go. Cut. Whoa, it's a little warm. I had the iron on the handle there. And we'll cut this across. Got the cup on there. Got this. We'll start it into that spark plug lead there. Get this out. Start screwing it in. Yeah, I like this design. That's pretty cool, really. Oh yeah, that's good. Good and tight. All right. Now, same thing. Get this cut back. There we go. We're going to come through here. Put this in there so it's wedged in. There we go. Alright, now flip this upside down. Get it underneath this one cable keeper. Right there. There we go. Tighten this down. And this comes around underneath here like that. You get this label off of there and put it on the new cable, the new short cable. Which is this one. This will be the top plug. I just need to clean that up a little bit. We can do that later. Alrighty. Okay, let's get this one soldered. And then we'll test it, make sure it's still good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, where's my solder? There it is. Soldering gun. Iron. Get the terminology right here. Well, let's try that. See if that that worked. I don't want to go any more on it. Okay, let's pull this out. See if it holds. Looks good. It's holding. All right, let's test it. Okay, still on 0. On this one nut underneath here. There we go. Just real close to 3 ohms. Beautiful, it works. Now, time to put this back on the motor and get all the gaps set right. So I got plugs in the holes, I got this covered, got some super clean. Get this, I already got some on it, but I'm going to put some more on it. And then we're going to rinse it off. Well, that should be good. Let it sit for a minute or two. Move the camera back so it's doesn't get splattered. My battery's getting kind of low here, so. There we go. So you can see how clean it got it. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's not spotless, but before I paint it, it's going to get a thorough clean job anyway. So this is just so we can put things together and make it look a little better, you know. Actually, it looks pretty good, I think. Even cleaned up the spark plugs. That's cool. All right. Well, let's turn this off before the battery dies. So that's it for the Magneto plate, putting the coils back on and the points. Got the motor all cleaned up, ready to go. So we'll be, next video will be installing the Magneto plate back on, get everything hooked up, put the carburetor back on, hook up the wires, and hopefully do a barrel test with it. So, you like the video, please subscribe, leave comments, give me a like, let your friends and family know about my videos too. So until next time, see ya.